Why do I not like or collect McFarlane Toys Action Figures? Let's talk about it. Greetings, toy heads, and welcome to another episode of Go Figure with me, your host, Eli Williams, here on the digitally Rebastard Network, the action figure show about news, reviews, collecting tips, customizations, kit bashing, everything that goes into this fun, nerdy hobby that you and I both love. And this week, we are talking about why I do not like nor collect the Todd McFarlane Toys Action Figures. Now, before I jump into this, I want everyone to know I'm not bashing McFarlane Toys, nor was I bashing McFarlane Toys in the video that I did about my overlook of the Superpowers collection. I will say this, the Superpowers collection, which I will get into in a little bit, to me is aggravating. Todd McFarlane makes some decisions that I just cannot get on board with. But I'm going to go over every reason why I don't. That doesn't mean that because you're collecting them, you're stupid and you're wasting your money. When you're in this hobby, you collect what you want to collect. If it makes you happy and brings joy into your life and is fun, that's what this hobby is all about. There's no wrong way to collect action figures and be in this hobby. There isn't. There's no wrong way. I am simply putting my opinion on the table, and I know I'm going to get hate for this, but you know, that's what people do. They thumbs down my videos. I get thumbs down on my G.I. Joe classified videos all the time. I've had thumbs down. It's awful funny that I only get thumbs down on the Hasbro videos and I don't get thumbs down on other videos. But that's neither here nor there. First thing I want to cover is my main reason for not collecting McFarlane Toys action figures is scale. And when I'm talking scale, he puts out that he is making figures in a 1/12 scale size. That is incorrect. That's very incorrect. Just so we're all on the same page here, I got my ruler. Now, these are the Mattel DC Universe Classics, as most of you can probably see, which are really, in my opinion, the true representations and the true reboot of the Superpowers line. In fact, I have right here. Here is one of the stands that comes with the... Oh, it's upside down. Comes with most of these DC Universe Classics by Mattel. See that? It says Superpowers. So, yes. These are the true recreations of that line. And Mattel knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. Now, that being said, let's take a look at scale, okay? I'm going to zip in here with the microphone. Now, the DC Universe Classics tend to be a little bit on the bigger side. They are a little larger than the Star Wars Black Series by Hasbro. They are a little, I'd say, well, they're probably on scale to Marvel Legends, because Marvel Legends tend to be a little bit taller. But Superman being, well, see, Martian Manhunter's pretty tall. Martian Manhunter is about 6 3/4 inches tall. Superman is looks like he's right exactly at 6.5 inches tall. Here is the problem. One of the problems I have with McFarlane Toys. I'm going to remove this Superman. Well, no, I'm not going to remove this Superman. I'm going to sit him right here. Here's the problem. See the problem? That is not a 1/12 scale action figure, okay? Superman is 6.5 inches tall. This is the, and yes, I bought this because it is one of, and that's the thing too. I don't think that all of the McFarlane action figures are stupid looking or anything like that. A lot of them look very, very nice. And that is why I have this one. This is the Action Comics number 1000 Superman. This Superman stands 7.25 inches tall. Okay? That is not 1/12 scale. 1/12 scale is between 6 and 7 inches tall. Generally, not any more than like 6 3/4 inches tall, unless you get into, like, you know, Star Wars: The Black Series with like Chewbacca, or like, oh gosh, like some of the collect and connect of the DC Universe classics like Darkseid and Bane and Doomsday and Solomon Grundy, who are larger characters, and I understand that. But when you're making a basic character, I hit my camera with my ruler. When you're making a basic character, you know, like Superman, who does tend to be generally kind of big, 7.25 inches tall is not 1/12 scale. And that's really, I would be collecting these, especially things like this, like a really good looking Superman. I would be collecting this if it were down to scale. If he would, I don't understand. Todd McFarlane is like the Apple Corporation of action figures. It's just like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and I don't really care what the fans or anybody says about it. And they're very popular. There's a lot of people collecting them. Now, I will say this: when I go out to the stores and I go to like Meijer and Walmart, and stuff like that, and I go back to the action figure aisle, there are a lot of McFarlanes sitting on the shelf, and there's no Black Series, there's no Marvel Legends, there's no G.I. Joe Classifieds, so take that for what it's worth. There is a significant size difference, and that is not 1/12 scale. I'm sorry, 1/12 scale is 6 inches. It's an average of 6 inches. That's just how it works. I didn't make these rules on scale. That's just how it is. Now, just so we're clear, I'm going to move. I hit the camera. I'm so limited on space, I can't exactly do what I want to do. I'm going to move Soups out of the way here, just to show you how bad the scale is. Here is a Mego Superman. This is from ClassicTVToys.com. That's an 8-inch figure. See the difference? See the difference? The 1/9 scale. This is 1/9 scale, which means this would be 1/9 scale, because this is a 7.5 inch figure. That is an 8-inch figure. 1/9 scale. That is what you are, McFarlane. 1/9 scale. I'm sorry to anyone who wants to think that these are 1/12 scale figures, but they are not. Let's move him out of the way. Here is one of my other problems with these figures. Number one, it is very difficult to get him to stand without a stand. Mine generally is on the flight stand that comes with it, which is this. Here, we'll take him off of this and sit him down. Now, I did put a custom cape on mine because it came with a rubber cape, and I hate rubber capes. But this is the stand. This is the stand that comes with it, and this is the flight stand. That's usually where he's at. I've got him up on my DC Multiverse shelf. Here's another issue I have: the plastic. The plastic that these are made out of. It's almost soapy texture. It's not as pliable. Now the hands are okay. But it's not as a pliable. It's a very hard plastic, and I really, really don't like it. The trunks on him are somewhat rubber, but it's just the type of plastic. It doesn't feel right when I'm holding it in my hand. It just doesn't really add up. Another thing that I'm really not a big fan of are the joints, the way that the joints work. They're really, I feel like when I'm bending these, I mean, it does have great articulation. And I do have another one. I do have the Swamp Thing. I did get the giant Swamp Thing figure, the mega figure, because it was Swamp Thing, and he's one of my favorite characters, and he looks cool. I like the Justice League Dark figures, and at the time, I wanted a Swamp Thing figure, and I didn't have the DC Icons one yet, or a DC Essentials. I can't remember which one it is. It was one of the first few videos that I did with. I had him and Deadman. I did a review of them, but this is the problem. I have such a hard time because of the detents in the feet, in the ankles. It's either like too far forward or it's too far back. There's no happy medium in this. So like when I try to get him to stand up, it's just fall over. So I either have to put him on a stand, like I had him there. Let's see if I can get him to I can't even really get him. If I spread his legs apart, I can get him well, maybe not. It's just like the detents on the feet. It's either there or there. There's no happy medium. And I don't have any of the others. I don't have really anything to go by on. I can't. I'm just there. I'm just done. I don't want to try to stand him up. I can't. I cannot stand him up unless I get him in a pose. I can't just have him standing there being Superman and standing. Another thing that's aggravating about McFarlane Toys is this. Okay, so that's one thing about Todd McFarlane is he is not only is he like the Apple Corporation of action figures, but he's also the Stephen King of action figures. This guy craps out like action figure. He's bringing out stuff. It's like every week or every other week. It's like here's another line. Here's some more. Here's some more. He has made countless Batman figures, as you can see here. This is actually, let's see, yeah, this is actually one that I almost got, but I'm not. I don't like the way that the cowl looks. This is close to what, like, if I were to get another McFarlane Batman, it would be the Jim Aparo Batman. It wouldn't be this. It would be this. This is the Batman I would like to see him make. He probably won't ever make this because he seems to tend to steer away, like most people do, away from the Silver Age of comics. And with the exception of that Superman, which I guess really isn't the Silver Age, but it's about as close as you're going to get to that. But he tends to either make stuff that he just wants to make. He makes like New 52 or Rebirth stuff, or just stuff that he just makes up on his own, which I don't understand. I mean, he made like the Batman, the movie, like this stuff, the Robert Pattinson stuff, and that's fine. Obviously, you're gonna do that. He's done a lot. He's got like the three Jokers, one line that he brought out. He did the Justice League You know, like the Snyder Cut Justice League. He's done those, which I actually considered getting the Henry Cavill Superman out of that. But again, it's just not something that I really want to start collecting, just because of the scale, just because they look dumb standing up on my shelf with all of my 6-inch figures and just being 7-inch and towering over everything, and it doesn't look right. And that's one of my things, is I want the stuff on the shelf to look good. Here's another thing I wish he would not have done, is the 66 Batman stuff. I think those look terrible. I'm sorry for anyone who likes them. Mattel did it. Mattel knocked it out of the park. They look stupid sitting in the Batmobile. They're larger. It's almost like the old Mego figures sitting in the Batmobile. They're like, oh, they're all like, it's like a kiddie car or something. Like it's out in front of a grocery store. You put a quarter in it and sit in it and ride it for like a couple of minutes. Some of the older crowd will understand that reference. But I'm sorry. I was excited when I heard about this, because these actually are 6 inches. But these are true 1/12 scale figures. But the capes are terrible. Like the capes on the Superpowers line are terrible. The scale to the Batmobile is terrible. I think that was a mistake. There are people that love it and people that collect it. And again, you know, if it makes you happy, then that's what you collect. I'm not on board with it. Also, if you really want to get a good piece of the demographic, especially like the Gen X people like me, you really need to make Silver Age stuff. I'm sorry. You know, all of this stuff is great, and a lot of it looks pretty good, but some of this stuff I just don't get. I just don't get it. I made the Dark Knight Returns line, which I guess is sort of Silver Age. Yeah, I guess it's Silver Age. You know, stuff from the late 80s, early 90s really need to be out. See, there's Mattel. Mattel actually had a good grasp on making DC figures, because they, and I know everybody's going to be like, oh, you're a shill for Mattel. I wish Mattel would get the DC license back away from Todd McFarlane and start making figures again, because so many of them were just so good looking. And nice sculpts, and just the articulation and everything on them was just so superb compared to his stuff. Like this Wonder Woman, like what is that? What is that? I don't get it. It's just like he's like, I'm gonna make Wonder Woman, and I'm just gonna look like this. There's a Martian Manhunter. This is on this is a GameStop, on the GameStop website. We've got that Martian Manhunter, but we don't have a Silver Age Martian Manhunter. I mean, some of these look pretty good. You've got Orm, Ocean Master. He looks pretty decent. The Joker's Batman looks pretty good, or is it the Hush Batman? I'm not sure. You know, he made a Damian Wayne Robin. Where's the Dick Grayson Robin? Where's the Dick Grayson Silver Age Nightwing? Where's Disco costume Nightwing? He made Etrigan, the Demon. He made the New 52 or the Rebirth, whichever one that is. Didn't make the classic Etrigan. Didn't make the classic Aquaman. I don't get it. I don't understand his logic in the his choices of what he makes. It's just like he's just like, I'm gonna make this, and I'm gonna make it look like this. It's, and I get his. I get the reason why he does what he does, because of, when you go back and look at the Spawn stuff, which was amazing line of figures. He had more, because that was his intellectual property. That was his baby, so he could do with it whatever he wanted. But he's taking that whole concept and bringing that over to this, and he's just like, I'm gonna make Grim Reaper Batman, and I'm gonna make I'm gonna make this Batman, and I'm gonna make that Batman, and I'm gonna make a Wonder Woman with crazy armor, and I'm gonna make a Dr. Fate, and I guess that's I think that's like the Injustice. But yeah, he's making a lot of the modernized versions of the characters instead of making the older characters. And where's the Silver Age Joker? Where's the Silver Age Penguin? The fat penguin with the umbrella and the blue tuxedo and the top hat. Where's that? If you're gonna have the license to make these, you need to make everything instead of just spitting out all these crazy figures. Which brings me to, yet again, the Superpowers line. They've already hit the shelves. The Batman Who Laughs. Why? Why would you make a character, a more modern character, in an 80s action figure reboot line? This, by far, right here, is, in my opinion, is the dumbest thing. I almost said stupidest, but the dumbest thing that he's done. Why would you do this? His whole thing when he first started doing this was just like, I'm going to make the figures, because at the end of the third wave of Superpowers, when, Golden Pharaoh and Cyborg and Cyclotron and all those guys came out, they had intentions of they had a Catwoman in the pipeline. They had I think like a Bruce Wayne in the pipeline. They had a John Stewart Green Lantern in the pipeline, which he did do John Stewart. We've got a John Stewart now, which that's fine. And that's a pretty decent looking John Stewart. The dark side still pisses me off. But, and the Batman, and the fact that he's putting a plastic fastener through the capes to fasten them to the plastic tray on the inside, which is leaving a hole in the capes, which is, I don't know who the idea that was, but they need fired. We have a Flash now, and that's a Silver Age Flash, and that's fine. But they've also got where is it? Oh yeah, Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom, which is, that one's fine. And then he's got this Wonder Woman. It's like a New 52 Wonder Woman. Don't make New 52 characters in the Superpowers line. If you're gonna make Superpowers, you make the George Lopez, or George Garcia Lopez figures. You make them. You make the Crisis on Infinite Earth DC guys. Stop this creative poetic licensing crap with Superpowers. Besides the fact that these also do not scale. to the Superpowers line, because the Superpowers line were approximately on an average 4 inches tall. These are 5 inches tall, so he's making them bigger, these bigger as well. You know, exceptions to the rules, obviously, you know, like Darkseid would be an exception to the rule, but I just don't get it. I honestly, it's almost like he's lost his mind. He's truly just lost it. He's out of touch. His finger is not on the pulse. It's his finger somewhere, but it's not on the pulse of, you know, what. There's a Blue Beetle and Booster Gold that he did, a 2-pack that he did on the 7-inch line, and those aren't bad. Those are very Silver Age, so he'll get a pass on that from me. But the Batman Who Laughs, I'm sorry, but my God, you know, making a character that wasn't around in the 80s during Crisis on Infinite Earths and all that, which is basically where these came from in the 80s. You know, making that Batman that's like the Batman with just the black bat and not the yellow oval, and then making that new 52 Darkseid. You know, save that stuff for your 7-inch, your giant figures. Don't do that with the Superpowers. God knows what's next. The next wave. I think they're on like wave 3 now, 2 or 3. Wave 4. God knows what it's going to be. What's really sad is there are third-party people on like eBay and Etsy and Mercari that are making the capes to replace these capes, like the Superman and Batman that have got destroyed, which are actually crap in the first place, rigid material that doesn't drape very well, and then it has a hole in it after you take it out of the package. They're making replacement capes for these. I honestly wanted to get. I've tossed around getting a Batman and fixing it. And taking the cape off, redoing everything, repainting him, probably getting a different head, and putting a water slide decal bat emblem on his chest, and making the blue lighter blue, getting a better cape, and making it look like it's supposed to look like, just so I could say, here is what it's supposed to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and put my soapbox away. You know, if I've upset anyone, I'm sorry. It's not my intention to do that. It's just being an action figure collector and seeing the potential of a certain line of figures, and being such a big DC fan that I am, the fact that the DC intellectual property is in Todd McFarlane's lap, and this is what he's doing with it, is extremely aggravating. To the point where I'm just like, my God, can Mattel not get the license back? Can Hasbro get the license for this? I know a lot of people don't like Hasbro. Yeah, Hasbro's got their problems. They got distribution issues, and stuff like that. And I know there's windowless packaging now, which I'm going to eventually have to address and make a video about that. And there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to like what I have to say about that either. But I'm sorry, Todd McFarlane needs to be making Spawn stuff. He made some Star Trek stuff that was really good. He can make decent action figures, but he needs to come down to the scale of everything else and stop, being proprietary to everything that he's doing, like Apple. And, give the collectors what they want as far as scale. You're giving collectors what they want here and there, but I kind of feel like when I go into Walmart or I go into Meijer here in my hometown, and I see, you know, these, you know, Batman Who Laughs and the, you know, King Robin or whatever, and the three Jokers and all these things just piled up on the shelf and nobody's buying them. I mean, I guess people are buying them because I see there's a guy I follow on TikTok that's always like every day he's got like, I mean, my God, this guy's probably got almost all of them. So there are people that are collecting them, but I don't know. I mean, if I had to put money on it, I would probably have to say that there's not as many people collecting these as there are like Star Wars Black Series or Marvel Legends or He-Man Masters of the Universe, or G.I. Joe Classifieds, Power Rangers. I can't imagine that there's as many people collecting those. You know, people that are actually collecting the 6-inch 1/12 scale stuff. At any rate, I'm gonna hang it up there. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, smash that bell so you can get information on all the good things coming out of the Digitally Rebastard Network, as well as join us on Twitter, Discord, and my TikTok by clicking those links in the bottom right-hand corner of the banner on our channel page. Become part of the DRN family. We will welcome you with open arms. You've been watching Go Figure with me, your host, Eli Williams, here on the Digitally Rebastard Network. You guys have a great week and a great day. I'll see you next time, and until then, don't forget to get your figure on. Take care.